Hello, everyone, and welcome to your weekly news update. I am your show host, Brandy Vale, and it brings me great honor to look at what is going on out there and bring you insights about abundance and wealth on this show, sponsored by the Coin Republic and Cayutel. We are going through some massive changes, as you have seen, and I want to invite all of you who are tuning in today on LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube to post your comments and say hello, ask questions, and of course, be a part of the show. That's why we're doing this. We want you to have a voice. We want you to show up as if you are a co creator of this new reality. My name is Brandy Vale once again, transformational educator working in fintech to help bridge the gap between the old world and the new world. And what that means is we get to tell the truth. Yes, I said it. The truth, meaning that what we feel on the inside is the exterior on the outside. And if we see chaos and catastrophe and market switches and so much more going on, obviously there's more going on the inside. And so today's show and this open dialogue is all about trust, fear, highs and lows. And as you can see, there's some fear index out there after this past week with the drop in Bitcoin. And I want to bring Varuni to the stage to talk a little bit about the news, and we'll go into a little bit of the wisdom and what it means to have true wealth, abundance, and how to deal with these ever-changing times. Welcome to the stage, Varuni.
Hi, Brandy. Thank you
Hi.
so much for having me on the stage with you every week. And it's my pleasure to represent the Coin Republic and this new section that we bring by the Coin Republic every week. This week, it's going to be a little bit more interesting. And you rightly said that we will be talking about wealth accumulation, what true wealth is, and how to be in times like these. I feel it's going to be a good session. It is going to be a more candid session because just so much happened in terms of news, in terms of losses, in terms of market movements, not in one geography, but across the globe. And once again, it made us feel how connected we are at so many different levels. Globally, the different nations that we feel are so apart are still so connected on a more macro level. And I feel I'll start talking about what happened in the market this week. Cryptocurrencies, of course, suffered a severe downturn on Monday, and the week began on a really low note as a wave of risk aversion swept through the global markets. The fall in crypto market worldwide, of course, mirrored the global mayhem in the stock markets when Japan's Nikkei index saw one of its worst day in decades. Of course, European stock markets followed and they had dropped to an almost 2 yearly low. Likewise, Bitcoin price had, of course, plummeted by over 16%, and this was one of the steepest decline that Bitcoin price and the larger market saw since the FTX collapse. Thus, of course, monumental, but it wasn't just the crypto markets or crypto price action that was affected. It was all the markets at large, be it the Asian markets or the US markets. Of course, the US stock market was shaken up pretty badly as well. So we saw a lot of, and I think mayhem would be the right word, throughout the half of the week that we have seen. And all of this was around a lot of political as well as geopolitical as well as economic issues that are taking place across the globe. And we could see just how, on a very macro level, not just the markets, but the people are so in tune and connected. Of course, there were a lot of bad news and negative news, and uh, there were a lot of narratives in the market which said that gold, of course, stood the test of the time, while Bitcoin wasn't able to perform as well as it should and act like a risk or a hedge against such sort of market falls. But I think I have an interesting piece of information to share. I was going through this piece of news just today, in fact, when I came across this information that institutions have in fact been scooping up on crypto throughout this week. We saw a wipeout of about 230 billion from the larger markets, and this had of course dropped major assets price to the lowest we've seen in months. However, readings from crypto trading and institutional brokerage outfit called Falconex noted interest in Bitcoin remains elevated still, and it is trading uh, almost three times more than Ethereum. And of course, Ethereum tradings have also shot up through the sky. We're seeing a lot of institutions, we're seeing a lot of investors once again buying the dip. And when I came across this news yet again about institutions sort of buying the dip, um, it felt good, I would like to say. So I think this was a bit of a roundup around whatever happened throughout the week that we've seen, and we still have half a week to go. So it'll be really interesting to see how the market actually pans out, because a lot of assets, like we spoke about it, have dropped to their multi-month lows, and to see how price action is going to navigate, how investor sentiment is going to be around this time, as well as the week closes. I feel we have a bumpy yet interesting ride ahead.
Mm, mm. Oh my goodness. Let's go deep. Are you ready, Varuni?
Absolutely.
All right, so 3 key pointers on this episode. We wanna make sure that whoever's out there listening, that you have an opportunity to ask questions and comment, and be sure that you are, just being transparent with how you're feeling, right? So we're talking about a couple of keywords like crypto fear and greed index. And so I want to give the definition of what that means, which is the greed index is an indicator used to measure the mood of the market and primary emotions, which I love, of the investors influencing it. So in the world of technology, we think, okay, algorithms can actually help us sustain our income, our family's future, our wealth. But the truth is there's a lot going on out there, and it's manipulating. And although we are in this marketplace, I do want to speak to what happens to us deeply. But before I do that, I heard you say gold is always the sustainable best bet. So Donald Trump mentioned in Bitcoin 2024 that, maybe even gold, right? He goes, go gold, in some of his comments in his past recordings, that it might even be out. Gold might be out. So, I think it's just messing with us. What do you think?
Yeah, I feel a lot can be dominated by, I feel, those trading desks by institutional traders. And of course, there is a sort of manipulation that is there with price. And I think the reason why gold stands out is its decentralization value, the fact that maybe no particular nation or country or geography can sort of control it, which is why we have been trying to strengthen the narrative of Bitcoin as the digital gold. And there's so many factors that contribute to Bitcoin holding that name or status. And when we talk about the manipulation that we see in the market at large, I absolutely believe in it, and I do think that a lot of institutional players, a lot of retail players, the bigger ones, the trading desks are at play when it comes to pulling the price down or pulling it up. But a lot of it, I think, ends up affecting retailers or beginners or people who are just in it for the experience of it. So of course, these market crashes are a lot worse for beginners, but I think it shouldn't deter anyone. We see these cycles every now and then. Years there's a certain way the market behaves, there are downfalls, and we still remember when COVID happened, there was of course a big crash that came in the markets, but ultimately they recovered. And I feel that's the cyclicity of the market makes it so much more beautiful, in terms of what goes down has to come up. And of course there are a lot of other factors behind price movement other than that, but I feel that at large the cyclicity is maintained, unless of course there's some sort of an emergency situation across the globe,
Right.
more geopolitical.
Well, I appreciate that insight. That's very technical, and so I bring the human side to
Mhm.
this. I do trust that we have free will. I do trust that we are using our emotional intelligence and not just AI, right? And the EI becomes a factor that sometimes we just have to trust the process. And when you have high stakes, and most of your assets that are not liquid, you know, in the S&P, and then you move over to crypto and you have the most liquid asset. Sometimes emotions could be like, "Oh, I need to buy today," or "Wait a minute, I need to get in before," and then all of a sudden it dips. So I'm tuning into what's going on out there. I think the fear and greed index was at 16%. I don't know, I haven't done my full research. Um, but I want to say this is not financial advice, but this is a time that you sit with yourself and go, what is my primary focus right now? Really? And if you're a day trader, if you're somebody who's just getting into the market and you're green, it looks hopeful. It looks hopeful. Yeah, maybe this is that opportunity. I am all for Bitcoin. I am all for moving this world into a sustainable, more connected, leveraged, and also being able to be transparent economy. I do believe that our politics, our industry, our computing and supply chains will be all based on blockchain, and it's developing there, and we're not even there yet. So, as a human to human speaking, sometimes you just have to step away and trust. Be smart. If you don't have the money, don't invest. Wait until you have that free, we'll call it white powder or free powder. Um, yeah. Varuni, are there any insights? What do you think? You're in India, correct? Or are you in Dubai now?
No, I am still in India at the moment.
Yeah. So what's happening in India? I mean, I'm in US, I'm based out of LA. I can tell you the conversations over here are very exciting. People are ready for more conferences. They think this is the best thing ever because right now there's an opportunity to buy in, but they are also in that extreme fear mode. What if we
Abs-
do? What if it goes further? Hmm.
Absolutely, that's true. I feel the sentiment here in India is pretty much the same at this point, and I do feel at this day and age when we are so connected with the rest of the world, everyone is. I feel the global sentiment remains to be the same. There's of course a lot of fear, but again, there's a lot of optimism in a lot of markets. There's a lot that people are looking forward to. Talking about India, there's a lot of international conflict around India at the moment. So we are seeing, in fact, an increase in terms of memes or just dialogue around how neighboring countries are, let's say, facing government collapse or protests and so on and so forth. And we're at the middle of it. And there's, of course, a stock market downfall. Indian stock market uh, as well saw a big downfall. A lot of stock prices fell. So I feel the hurting that happened throughout this entire incident was worldwide. It was global. It was felt equally in India. I'm sure it was felt in US. It was felt across the Asian markets. I can talk better about them and as well the US stock market. But we can already see a bit of improvement in terms of uh, the sentiment or the emotions. You were talking about the fear and greed index, which has a lot to play with the psychology and what investors, traders are feeling at the moment. And usually, when there's more fear in the market, it is there's a lot of sell-offs that happen and prices typically fall down. But during these times of extreme fear, a lot of, I feel, institutional traders, a lot of trading desks try to find opportunities. And um, you're right that one should always be careful, do their research, invest what they can afford to lose, because there's always a bit of risk attached to any sort of investment, I feel. But still, I feel even in times of pain like these, a lot of people are looking forward to opportunities, and there are still a lot of opportunities in the market with not just stocks or cryptocurrencies, but new investment products like ETFs, etc., which of course offer a more risk-free approach or access to these digital assets. So now the markets have evolved, I feel, a lot more than we were a couple decades back. And at the moment, we're already seeing a sort of recovery. So it feels good. I feel the sentiment is also getting better in terms of conferences. The Bitcoin 2024 conference was it did make waves throughout the world, and there's a lot of chit chatter, even in Indian news media houses, about what, let's say, Trump said, or what the Harris, Kamala government is saying. So there's a lot of discussion around who would be the next president, who would be stepping up, how will that change the narrative for, let's say, different markets or internationally. So, of course, I feel a lot of connect in terms of uh, countries or just globally we have, be it in terms of media or news or just via social media.
Hmm. I agree. I was going to bring up the president elects in where the Democrats are going to be pushing because they're not going to allow Trump as the race continues. I think it's 50-50 right now, the last I've checked, that they're not going to allow any of the Democrats to come down to the fault of this, right? And so, um, yeah, there's a lot to be said there. At the core of this is we are humans activating this market, and it's not everything. I know a lot of people get into, we have to be technical, we're going to make, the companies move to the next level, we have to hurry up and onboard. And there is something to say about just kind of stepping away for a moment, getting out into nature, allowing yourself to breathe, allowing yourself to be, and thinking level headed. We know Bitcoin is going up, period. Dot, dot,
Right.
dot. I mean, this is like Black Friday, right before Christmas time, and I think this is an opportunity. Obviously, be smart and watch for the markets, and there's it's really about what you are following as a culture of advancement and what you want to invest in. And so I invest heavily in Bitcoin, and I believe many people see this opportunity. So we'll cap it off there. I think the news is the news, and the Coin Republic is doing a great job. And there's a lot moving on in the Coin Republic right now. Can you share the updates, what's happening on the platform, and if people have not familiarized themselves with the platform, what they can expect over the next few weeks to months?
Absolutely. So we at the Coin Republic like to be on top of news, of course. But other than that, we noticed a lot of gaps in the space when it came to access or education, and we've been big advocates of educating people, educating the crowds about Web3 concepts. A lot of times, the things that we talk about, and you rightly mentioned a while back, Brandy, that there's so much of technical stuff, and not everyone needs to understand everything, but we believe that we should make understanding even those technical concepts or even those uh, terms that might seem too difficult for people, or as we like to say, outsiders or noobs in the space. So we'd like to make it sure that no one stays a noob and everyone has access to the right kind of education, articles, the right kind of content when it comes to understanding more about the Web3 crypto blockchain space. And we actively like to be not just on top of news, but interviews from some of the top people in the crypto blockchain space. We also like to be present at all the events globally. Brandy, you were representing us at the Bitcoin 2024 conference, for which we were extremely thankful and grateful. You've been a great supporter at all our events, and this just goes on to show the kind of ground that we cover in terms of different countries, in terms of, in fact, different continents. We're connected all the time. We have so many people working globally across the globe at the Coin Republic that we understand what the communities want. A lot of what the communities want or need is missed out, I feel. But here we like to just educate crowds. And looking at all of that, we realized that one thing that was missing in the market was, of course, access to better technical data for understanding price action, for understanding news analysis, how numbers work, how trading happens. And apart from having, of course, a library of a dictionary of, let's say, content pieces written on it, we have also worked on a sort of data or price prediction, price analysis pages at the Coin Republic, where we're doing about almost close to 30,000 cryptocurrencies. So that would mean all the cryptocurrencies projects out there in the market will be doing price analysis pages, history pages on them, where you'll get all the data that you need for any company or coin or cryptocurrency, practically any digital asset, right on one platform. So we've already worked on quite a few of those assets. I feel close to about 3,000 are already done, and we're looking at a lot more. So this would give access, I feel, to people in terms of information, in terms of data, and of course the tools that we will be providing, which would mean a lot of technical on-chain analysis tools with sort of proper explainers as to what those tools mean. And yeah, I feel this would be a great addition to our audiences, which have been really loyal and kind to us in the last 7 years that we've spent in the market. And we look forward to do great reporting, news reporting, analysis, fun opinion pieces, fun feature pieces, and attend as many conferences as we can. And the next conference we'll be attending will be the Singapore Token 2049 conference. So anyone who's tuning in and would be attending that conference, feel free to get in touch with me, or anyone from the Coin Republic team, because we'll be there on ground and we'd love to chat about your project or any cool thing that you're up to in the Web3 space, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. And we are excited to bring you the best in these conferences. We have a couple of events happening coming up for Fashion Week in New York. Really excited. We have a house coming, a big mansion there. We're going to be showcasing the Rise Africa, which we launched in Dubai with the Coin Republic, with Farzam Kalamabadi, who is sharing the African artwork, the calligraphy that we are now touring and making a world of difference for people to better understand what's going on in Africa, what's going on with internet service providing there with Kayutel. And Kayutel has been a big supporter of ours here at Yes3, and providing schools in Africa right now with internet. And without internet, we still stay with a local perspective of education. And so I'm 100% behind that project. So if you want to join us in New York, we'll be there. We are having tickets available for you. Coin Republic will be supporting there as well. And then UNGA, which is a United Nations um, gathering of all of the leaders around the world talking about sustainable development goals and also the ESG's environmental sustainable goals. So it's a big month ahead that will happen in September. And then, of course, I'm going to Burning Man because that was where I first launched what I would call the sharing economy in the gift economy. Sharing economy, as you all know, you know it as Uber or Lyft or um, some of these more trade and barter systems. I was one of the very first to help with the advocacy is in the United States, but it all started with Burning Man. Burning Man is a gathering of 80,000 people in the middle of the desert where we go out there and there's no money. There's no money hand-to-hand exchanges. There's only what we call the gift economy. Look into it. It's a fun adventure. You go off grid for a while, you build out your camps, and you meet people from all over the world who have the same intention, which is to have a society that fosters community and has balance and culture and creativity. Lots of fun, lots of art, and a lot of dust because it is in the desert. Last year, a lot of news came out around Burning Man, which was unfortunate, but there was a massive storm that hit the playa and it caused a lot of people to be concerned. And I want to admit it looked not so good from the outside in, but people got through it and they were stronger and they're all going back today. And I will say one of the very first people to introduce me to Burning Man was Brock Pierce. And this goes, Varuni, you got to meet Brock at our Dubai World W3WC World Consortium. You know, Brock is a guy who is the chairman of blockchain, and he was one of the first to give me my Bitcoin, big influencer, one of the first billionaires in Bitcoin. And yeah, he shared with me about the playa. He started a camp out there a long time ago. I think that was in year 2000 and might have been 2012. The core of the story is that we have to do this as community. And community becomes the main factor of all the infancy of great ideas. We foster ideas. We have a thought from a thought. We get together. We accelerate that thought. We get together with companies like BitAngels, which was recently doing an accelerator in Bitcoin 2024. And they'll go off to do the same acceleration for companies in tech, but not always just in tech. They're great ideas, great community makers. And if you really want to be a part of something that is brilliant and to feel a place of belonging, then I would definitely reach out to either myself or Varuni and or BitAngels and in these communities. We'll make sure that you have the information posted in the comments. We really want to hear from you. As we start to come to a close, I'll bring in any of the last words from Varuni. Any last words for today's show?
No, absolutely not. But I do agree. Communities are so powerful. The kind of energy, the kind of shared passion that you see within communities, and I'm not gonna lie, I have felt that sort of a shared passion for a community when I entered the Web3 space. And so much of what we do is based on tightly knit communities, be it great products, be it great countries, or just great organizations. So I think that's going to be my last word, just how important communities are. And with that, I'll sign off. Thank you so much, Brandy, for having me represent the Coin Republic here every week.
Wonderful to have you. Thank you. For my last words as we begin to enter into the rest of the week and until next Wednesday, whether it be fear or greed index, you are the creator of your reality. You are the one creating this economy. And from the words of wisdom and abundance and wealth, as we get to share, being human is being human. And this is the only time that you get to be that. So as you go off into your week, I want you to stay balanced during these uncertainty times and these challenging times and these great times of positive employment, positive impact. To maintain equilibrium is up to you. Here are some ideas and routines that I practice as a transformational educator in tech. Establishing a routine is highly suggested. Keeping a consistent daily routine is going to help you stay a part of normalcy and in control. This includes your sleep patterns, allowing to have meals that are nourishing your body, having exercise, going out into the sunlight, taking breaks as you're on the computer, as you're doing day trading, as you are writing your documents, as you are building companies. Staying balanced and having a routine is important for your personal well-being. Focus on what you can control. Identify those aspects of every moment, being moment to moment, being fearless instead of helpless. Stay informed, not overwhelmed, because overwhelmed becomes a thing of the mind. The things of the mind are just of the mind. They aren't always reality. They are based on your past or too much in the future. The past can cause depression. The future can cause anxiety. So stay present. So while you're staying informed, remember to breathe. There are information particles in that deep inhale. And when you have a thought and you inhale, limit your exposure to the news, albeit we are a news channel, but we are mindful. Be mindful, news channel. Limit your exposure on social media. Prevent those feelings of overwhelming information. Information in and information out. Information in and information out. The same as your deep inhale and your deep exhale. And remember that self-care is about how you engage in conversations. Every moment you're speaking, remind yourself, is this for me or is this against me? If it's for you, engage in those activities that help you promote physical, emotional, mental well being. This is in your hobbies or getting together offline, doing meditation practice, exercising, like I said, spending time with loved ones. It's very important to have a human way of life. Stay connected, maintain those connections with friends and families and colleagues. Be sure that you're having one on one, not just talking about what's going on in the marketplace, but really engaging on a core to core, heart to heart conversation. You can have your virtual meetings, that's great, but try to see each other in the person to person in reality. And as we start to move on to our day, as we close, I want to thank you for showing up and being a part of this show. Ask your questions and even be a guest on our spotlight. We are going live with our Bitcoin 2024 recording with Rufus of Green Energy up next, starting shortly at 10:30. So tune in, say hello, and listen to what he has to say as I interview him on the floor at Bitcoin 2024. Great changes are amongst us. That means you get a chance to connect with people doing great things in the world. And until next time, thank you. Be well, be informed, and stay connected. My name is Brandy Vale. Thank you so much. Have a blessed day.